Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video, as you can see, I have my gaming PC taking apart. I had a little bit of an issue. Now, this is the same computer I did the BIOS update firmware update. And I had to take it apart and clear it and reset the, do the jumpers and all that to figure it out. Well, I did a firmware update last night and it did it again. Now, in this case, I had an issue with this right here. What this is right here is this is the power switch / power LED. Now, I'm not sure if you could see it on camera, but what happened is the pins got bent. Now, what I was trying to fix the pins, and one of them actually came out because they were brittle. Now, I tried to see if I could get the part, but the part was more than what would be worth it to fix it. So here is my solution. I am taking this. Yes, it's 2 switches. This is out of the case of my testing station number 2. Now, I've never seen the 2 power switches like this, but this is a really old case. So I'm going to actually do something really cool with that case. So I figured take it out and I could use it. So here's the issue with the case. So anyway, the part that I took out here, if you could see it, it was the big piece that goes into a little piece. So the issue with that is I thought I was going to have to modify it and to make it work, but I don't. So here I do have to modify the case a bit, but I don't have to modify any wiring. So first, what you want to do in this case is you want to plug it in. I'm going to slide the camera back a little bit. So what you want to do is you want to plug it in. Just like this. Then what you want to do, you seem to find the head pins before. Then, in this case, you find the head pins. Alright, so it's the 2 middle ones are head pins. Then what you do is I'm going to let it run for a bit here because I don't like power cycling my machines. Because that's pretty dangerous. So what I got to do now is I have to take this board off right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this board out. I gotta find a Phillips head, or a star head as they say. And yes, the computer is booting. You could probably hear it. And I'm very carefully taking this out so the screws don't go flying into the computer here and damage anything. Not sure if you can see that or not. And I'm going to take this out. Alright, so the board comes out. I had it out earlier today. So what I'm going to do is take a little screwdriver here. Just pry that up. This is the power switch and the LED. This is now useless to me. Then what I got to do is I got to pop the plastic piece out, because that's going to be my pass-through for my switch. So then what you want to do in this case is you want to take your switch end, go like this, and since it's in there, unravel it. And there you go. So once you get that, I'm going to have to send it through the metal piece here, which you'll see in a second. So I'm going to have to wait a second here because it's completing the updates. So what I'm going to do now, turn down a little more, is this metal piece right here. Not sure if you could see it. Turn it up a little bit. This metal piece right here, I have to send this end through that in order to hit the head pin. So I'm going to do that now. There is a pass-through for that. So what I got to do is to do it right is there's an edge along here which I'm going to use. There's going to be an edge. So what I got to do is send that through here, and then what I'll do is take this. I could send it through here or I could send it through there, but I need a good pass through to do that. So what I could do is send it through here just like this. It's not going to get in the way of when I install it. So this is going to be basically what you call Frankenstein together, but it will work. So now I am going to power off the machine, and I am going to hook this switch up to the two head pins, which are the two center ones in this case. So the two center pins are hooked up. I am going to power the machine on using the switch. So here we go. And it powers on. So me having these parts around is a really, really good thing, because what would have happened is I would have to gone out and buy something So now everything works. What I just did, what you saw me do, was just connect this one, because I don't need it. This is an UX switch for that old case. But I am going to keep it because I am going to wire up a switch for my second test machine, and this will work. So what I got to do now is very carefully hook this up. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is you want to put a little bit of electrical tape around that. And the reason is I'm running the wire through a metal case. And if it happens to cut that particular wire, I could arc it. Now, on this particular thing, it won't do that because it's just a switch. It's literally just a switch. But you want to be careful because if you don't do it and something happens, it'll drive you crazy because you're trying to figure out what is going on and you can't figure out what's going on. And you got to make sure that and the switch came out. All right, that's fine. I'll just put that back on. There we go. So now, when I put this on, that's not going to work. All right, so I have to find another solution here that's going to work. Because this goes on there like that. That should stay on. All right, so this is the tricky part. There we go. As long as that doesn't come out, push that. There we go. You see why I did that? Because it was going to push. And what's nice is the holes line up. So now all I have to do is just screw it back down, very carefully, of course. Everything will line up. So I have to find, oh, here we go. I have to find the locking nut here. So now what I'm doing is I'm putting the screw back in. And all I have to do now is I'll test the switch out. See, this is the original right here. And at first I was just going to splice into this, but then I'm like, I don't care about the LED. I don't care about the switch itself. As long as I have one, I'm a happy person. So I did that. That worked. And actually, I just found out I could have ran it through. Actually, I may do that. So let me. I didn't realize there was a specialized hole in the case for this. So let me take care of that. So then this way it'll be done right. So I didn't need to put the electrical tape on. Oop. Be very careful when pulling that out. So there's a hole down here. I am going to send it, which is specifically, it's got a beveled edge on it, specifically made for the switch. So let me take, you do not want that touching metal. I'll just keep the electrical tape on there. Doesn't bother me. So we're gonna do this. We'll hide it in here. Let's pull back a little bit. So that way it's what they call taut, meaning that it's, you want to keep everything kind of tight together. So now what I can do is there we go. So before I keep going, I am going to test the switch. Make sure it didn't come loose. All right. All right, so I'm going to cut the power to the machine. There we go. Alright, so it works. So now that I got that working, I'm going to put the system back together. Hold on. There we go. Just to be sure. Okay, everything's in its rightful place. Make sure that didn't come undone. That's in there. There we go. Alright, so that is all back together. I'm going to push the case back here so you can see what I'm doing. So now I am going to do this so that way nothing interferes. Let me eject the drive. And I got to put this back on the drive first. Pull, drive out, put that on there. Perfect. So now what I do is I tilt the system up a little bit. There we go. So I got it all back together. So now, push the drive in. So now I'm going to test it again. All right, cut the power to the computer. Count to 10. All right, so now here's the, works just fine. Now the reason I tested it before I put the case cover on is just in case there was something wrong. I didn't want to put it all back together and then have an issue with it. And you can see that it's running. So what I am going to have to do is I am going to have to find a good mounting point for the switch. So I'll do that at a later date. But I just needed something that was going to make this thing work for right now. So let me hook. So I'll put the case cover back on. There we go. So now what I am going to do is I'm going to move the camera. I am going to put the case back in my cabinet here since this is my gaming machine. So let me just move that and I'll hook it up video wise here so you can see. That I am not pulling anybody's leg here. So, without further ado, it is running. So, with this cost me nothing to do. This cost me literally about a half hour of my time. So, with a pre-built, you're going to get stuff like this. Now, if I really wanted to, you could take a piece of hard plastic, something like this light. You could buy plastic, a flat piece of plastic, and you could build what you could do is you could build a box to house the power LED and the switch. So this, and you can make it look as cool as you want. So that works. Anyway, so the computer is working. So I didn't need to spend any money on this particular project, which is nice. Yes, it does look a little weird, and I admit that. But now my system is completely fine and it's completely working, and I don't have to worry about something not working. So with that said, that is it for this video. Please comment, like, subscribe, and click that bell for more notifications.